you've never, in these 40 years, fallen out of love with it?
Oh, every day. Whenever I'm making a film, I'm wondering, what am I doing here? I should be playing golf. When I'm playing golf, I'll think that what am I doing here? I should be making movies. So both are very difficult things. Some people you have to threaten. Yeah, I've promised people that I'll throw them out of the 4th floor if they don't do what I'm saying, asking them to do.
I can't imagine who would say no to you, right?
You'll be surprised. This is a theory that I have, that the more talented an actor is, the more he needs a director. And it's only these extraordinary talents that can stretch their arms and you can get fooled by it. So you have to be on your toes to make sure that you get a nice balance.
Mani, so welcome to the Hollywood Reporter India.
Hi.
I am so excited to be sitting down with you while you're in the middle of DI. You're in Mumbai for a couple of hours. Thank you for making time to talk to us in the middle of everything. Tell me, do you enjoy this last stretch when you can see the finish line and you're racing towards it, sort of fueled by adrenaline? Or is there almost a little bit of ache because these people, these characters you've created are going to be gone from your life because you said you never watch your films again?
No, I'm not worried about them going away from my life. I'm happy about it. But the thing is, you want to send them off correctly.
Yeah.
So nothing is perfect. So you try to push and make sure that there are no flaws. And these days, we can't afford many. People stop, check. So you can't afford to, say it's okay, we might pass. We won't pass. So you have to take care.
Yeah. So you're just like till they take that film away from you, you're just going to be perfecting it. Is that how it is?
No. It's reasonably perfected, you can never get it absolutely perfect. This is a make-believe.
Yeah.
So we try to create a world and try to create a, ambience, everything as far as possible to make it as real. So that the concentration is on the film, on the story, on the characters, and not on other smaller things.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, the exciting thing about this is your reunion with Kamal sir, right? And he is truly a sort of a renaissance artist. It's almost easier to list what he can't do because what he can do is just such a long list, right? And you often talked about how it's easier for a director when there's an artist of that caliber.
Yeah.
Right? Here he's also the producer. The film is based on a script on a story that he wrote. When you're dealing with such a towering talent, is there a danger that you might get too seduced? Finally, the film is your vision. It has to be, right?
Yeah.
So what was the creative back and forth, and what does it take to say, no, this idea works, but this one doesn't?
It's simple. If it doesn't, you tell him it doesn't,
Really?
So it's not the thing with him is when I did a film with him earlier, which was long back, which was very early in my career. Even then, he trusted me with the entire thing. He would never, if I say, I want to go this way, he's ready to come that way. He believes in you, he thinks that you know what you're doing and you have clarity, then he comes with you. There's no issue at all. But given the fact that someone is so talented, this is a theory that I have, that the more talented an actor is, the more he needs a director. He needs somebody from outside to look objectively and be able to, draw the boundaries a little tighter. Because they're so capable, they can
go
expand.
Anywhere.
If it's somebody who's not that talented, who's in the middle ground, they're okay. They'll always be in the middle ground. It's only these extraordinary talents that can stretch their arms and you can get fooled by it. So you have to be on your toes to make sure that you get a nice balance.
So going forward, will the actors in your films who are being directed a lot know that they're extraordinary, and the ones who are... Have you just revealed your hand?
No, only to you. Don't tell anyone.
When I talked to Kamal sir, he said that you both are think alikes, not look alikes.
Yeah.
He said that the wavelength is the same, even though the vocabulary is different. Does that sound about right?
Almost, not fully right. But I think in a way it's slightly complementary. It doesn't clash. It is not the same, but it doesn't clash. So it's easy to take one's, idea and move forward, take it up next step. If you tell him something about a sequence, about how you planning to stage it, and he as an actor might be able to take it one step further, tell me what he will comfortable doing, and then I can redesign the shot based on how it can be staged. So that is a very nice equation to have. And it doesn't become, when I make a film, I have an idea, I know what it is, but I don't have a rigidity about it, that I want somebody to come from there, to here, to sit down, to raise the right hand, to raise the left hand. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the actor to invest himself into the role. Now I want him or her to do what they would do in that situation, given that they are the character. So it is good when somebody is ready to put in a lot of his investment into a scene. And then everything else is designed with that. And it makes it, that X factor comes in, makes it a little more real, makes it not constructed.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to come to that your way of working with actors, because so I was recently at the Cannes Film Festival and I saw this film called Nouvelle Vague about the making of Breathless.
I read about it.
So it was so amazing. I didn't know this, but apparently Godard did not use sync sound because he would shout instructions at the actors while they were performing.
Yeah.
He's literally screaming at them, move, do this. And I was so amazed at that. And then I also did an interview with Sharmila Tagore, and she was talking about how Satyajit Ray used to direct. And she said that some actors like her, he was sort of very, not easy, but he said that, okay, you don't need to learn the lines, read them many times, but, make them your own.
Yeah.
But other actors, he would say, don't move your elbow beyond this mark because then it messes up his idea of the frame.
Yeah.
So you're not that director at all. You let them be.
Not everyone. You can't do that to everyone. Some people you have to threaten. Yeah, I promised people that I'll throw them out of the 4th floor if they don't do what I'm asking them to do. And sometimes you have to tell an actor that, see, there's a 5-year-old child who's doing it this late in the night, who's doing exactly that without anything. So you also please come sit and do what I'm asking you. So you have to do both. There's no one solution to it. But if you have a good actor and if what they bring in adds value, see, finally, what are you looking at? You're looking at trying to make that moment real.
Yeah.
Like it could have happened or it is likely to happen. So if something extra comes in to make that, closer to reality, then it adds to the believability.
Yeah.
Instead of everything being, so perfectly grammatical and,
planned,
designed.
Yeah. Is it true, sir, that you don't enact scenes? Except you're only comfortable with Kamal sir to sort of show him and you actually scowl and grimace and do all of this. Is this true?
Not true. I don't do it to him also.
So you never enact?
Not unless I have to. I don't believe in that. I don't want them to do what I'm doing. I want them to do what they will do in that situation.
Yeah. I
don't think a director's job is to act and show. I think a good actor will take offense to if you show them how to act. They have the role, they have the script, they have the character, and they worked on it. And so they come in, and then you interact with them and you guide them, or just together figure out a way that will make it better for the shot.
Yeah.
So that's all you need to do. You just have to make sure that the final product is right. The method really doesn't matter.
And it's customized to the actor.
To the actor, and also to the style of a director. Some directors like it that way. It doesn't matter, but as long as the result is good.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter which route you take. What matters is the end product.
Yeah, because apparently, like Rajamouli is a really good actor himself, and he enacts, for his actors. Tell me, how do you choose? Because I think you're one of the few directors who any actor, irrespective of industry, language, is dying to work with. Right?
Not right.
It is. I'm sure. I don't know any actor, so I can't imagine like who would say no to you. Right?
You'll be surprised.
Okay, most people will not say no to you, right? Given that, how do you choose? Like, why are Simbu and Trisha perfect for these roles?
There's no logical reason. There's
Really?
no rational in that sense. It's just a sense of you feeling that they're right for the role. One, there is this amount of physicality that should be right for the role. And second is their your equation with them. Some people, how much ever you interact, how much ever you discuss, and how much ever they understand and they want to do it, it may not reflect on screen. It may not come out on performance. So it's also the chemistry, the sync that you have with the actor that matters a lot, and that you assess when you meet with them and do an audition somewhere. Good or bad, it should be two ways, in the sense both of us together should do something right. So that is what you look for. And sometimes, I think casting is so important. Casting is so crucial to get the believable factor into it. And if you make a mistake in that, you'll struggle throughout the film. So as far as possible, get the first step right.
So did Simbu and Trisha audition? Do you make them audition?
No, we went through the scenes. We do readings and things like that. And I've worked with both of them.
Right. So
I know that they will take direction well, they will interact, and they know that they have to work a little more, do homework.
Tell me how you decide on the DOPs, because you've said that your cinematographers are like co-filmmakers.
Yeah.
Right? And you said that you bring them in very early into the process. Of course, you decide the visual palette together, but you're also talking to them about performances. You said that Santosh Sivan would even be in the edit room.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do you decide that this is the right co-filmmaker for this project? So why was Ravi Varman perfect for PS1 and 2, but why is Ravi Chandran perfect for Thug Life?
It's not that at all. The ones that I work with can do any film. It is not really that this is right for this person. It's not that. It is when I'm doing, they should be available, they should be free, and and that is all it is. I'm sure if I'd asked Santosh or PC to do any of the films, they would have done it effortlessly. So it's not as though someone is right for this. It's just that it depends on the time and their commitment, my commitment. It just works that way.
It's scheduling?
It's scheduling. And sometimes you want to, if I've worked continuously with one DOP, then he needs a break from me. Poor guy. He has to put up with me. And it's good to go different ways and come back, because each of us learn different things. So next time we come back, each bring something else extra into the production.
Yeah. Is it like a sort of a different muscle with another DOP that you then have to use, or you have to sort of stretch yourself in a different way?
No, I try to take more inputs from them also. The new ideas that come, which are not, so we don't tend to repeat ourselves. That's what you're always scared of. Very convenient to fall back on things that have worked before. So we try our best not to do that. And one way of not doing that is to each of us going different ways and then coming back together.
You said, poor guy needs a break from me. I have to ask you about this. So I was telling Kamal sir that I read a profile of you from India Today magazine done in 1994. And it said that when you are on a shoot, you look very zen-like, but you become a raging bull. And they talked about how, the fierce cold in Himachal for Roja or Thiruda, there were leeches and you were just soldiering on. And I asked Kamal, I said, is he still that man? And he said, he's not mellowed, but he's refined. He's willing to allow others to catch up to him, but he's still on set at 5:30 every morning, right?
Yeah.
So I have to ask, sir, it's been over 40 years now, right, that you've been making movies. What is it that compels you to push yourself so hard? Because you also literally made yourself sick on a shoot. Is cinema, in a sense, bigger than life for you?
No.
No?
Certainly not. No. It's something that I love, that's all, but it's not life. There's so much more to life than just cinema. Cinema is just an expression. Cinema is your output, your thought process that comes through stories. So it is, but it's a job. It's it's more than a job. It's a passion. So there's only one way that you can execute it. When you go out to play in the court, you try to give your best. And if you don't do that, then you're not going to get anywhere. You can't. It's not practice. It's match time. It's play. You have either that or you lose. So you give it your best, and that is how it is. See, as a director, unlike actors, as a director, we work what? In a year, we actually shoot for 70 days, 65, 70 days for a film. That's all. The rest of the time is all mine. So my working hard for these 65 days is not going to hurt me in any way. I just have to make sure that the rest of the 200 work with me in that pace. That's all. So sometimes I have to cajole, sometimes I have to push, sometimes I have to tempt them, saying this space, you should come and see it at this point of time. And you tell them the scene can be done. And you do it only because it'll help the film, not for any other reason. You just want it to be as perfect as possible. So you take that extra step.
And you've never, in these 40 years, fallen out of love with it?
Oh, every day. Every day. It's so difficult, so troublesome. Whenever I'm making a film, I'm wondering, what am I doing here? I should be playing golf. When I'm playing golf, I'll think that what am I doing here? I should be making movies. So both are very difficult things. And it's very difficult. You have to have a constant, love-hate relationship. Because you don't get it right. It's just sometimes what happens in a set is that the search is for your own, about your own ability more than else. I'm get tense only when my ideas are not good enough, that I'm not able to come up with something better, and that sets you. And sometimes the push and the deadlines and this one, the pace at which you work kind of makes ideas fall in. It's like Rahman. He has all the time, but if you give him a deadline, if he has a flight to catch and he has to finish this, he does magic. He really does magic. And the early days, he used to tell me, give me a false date. It's your last date.
Just the pressure.
So sometimes those, constraints actually get the best of you, instead of it being totally open-ended, that I can take as many days as I want and I can take as many takes as I want, just unending. If you give me that, I have, even if you don't, if I make for myself that a kind of a boundary, then within that you try to do your best. It just pushes you a little more.
But Mani sir, the things. So here's
Can I make a request?
Yes.
Can you leave that sir out of this?
Are you joking?
I know.
I will be trolled till the last day of my life that you call money. Not at all. No, but so here's what I find really admirable about you. There is this incredible filmography, okay? You are a master of what you do. And yet, when I see your interviews, there was a retrospective of your work earlier in January at G5A, and you're almost wincing at sort of looking at your own shots and having these directors sit around you and talk about you. And, when somebody says good luck for Thug Life, you say, yes, I need it.
I do.
No, but how is it that you have never, we've never got a sense that you're resting on your laurels? How have you maintained this incredible sort of hunger and the right artistic insecurity? Because you have to be fueled by it.
Yeah.
How have you done that?
Just that people around you are doing so well. They're making such great films all around. And it just, you know that there's more to do. There's a higher standard that the world cinema is somewhere else. So you want to take one step more. You want to go beyond what you have done, what you can do. Now just try reach. You might fall, you might hurt yourself, but that's okay. You can get up and run again. So I think just that there's so much of possibility that is there. I mean, they've been poets, they've been, extremely brilliant novelists. I mean, so it's all around. Storytelling is something that's been there for ages and they've told it so beautifully. So you can't sit back and say, I've said something very well. You can always do better or at least try.
So you never have that moment where you just look at your own frame and say, nice.
Yeah, I do. But it lasts for minute and a half. When I casually, go through, it comes across somewhere on television or something like that. I think, oh, that's not bad. Till the next shot comes in and say, oh no, I walk away. It's very difficult to watch your film.
Really?
Yeah.
And that never changes. That was from day one, it's been like that.
Yeah. To a large extent, it's been like that.
The other thing I find incredible is that you haven't even finished Thug Life, and there's already conversation about the next Mani Ratnam film, right? A breezy romance with Naveen, Polishetty, Rukmani.
Yeah, even that is news to me because I have no clue what they're talking about.
Okay, so this is officially, is there a next film?
Hopefully.
No, meaning is it this breezy romance?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Are you locked into whatever the next is?
I'm thinking. I'm working on a couple of scripts. Don't know what will fall into place. What looks very promising today, next morning, might disappear. So, working at it.
And do you need time to just sort of rest and lie low, or can you go back into it pretty soon?
No, that's the best way I rest and lie low is getting into the next one.
Really?
Yeah.
So, no holiday in Switzerland type situation?
No. Not really, not at all. Now, in the sense, I don't know how many films I have left. Might as well make as many as I can.
Vinod says that too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We think alike.
But you never get exhausted with the process of it because it is difficult.
It is.
It's physically difficult. It's emotionally difficult. So you never want to just take a rest from that.
It's there. That, like I told you, as filmmakers, we have a lot of time. See, if I'm working on a script, if it doesn't move, I leave it and go out and do everything else. Do everything else. Watch something, go for a match, do anything. So there's a lot of time. It's not as though I'm working 24 hours a day. But at least I have a problem to solve, a Rubik cube that is not getting solved. So it just keeps me alive, but it doesn't consume me. Just gives me enough time. When this doesn't work, I go do something else, and then it might fall into place. It may not fall into place, but it keeps you thinking.
Yeah. And now that there is the reunion with Kamal sir has happened, can we dream about a reunion with Rajni sir? Because Talpati was like one of my favorites.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I should have a script for him. He's such a huge star. He's become bigger and bigger as years gone by. And to write something for him, for his market, I don't know whether I can have it in me.
Do you find Stardom now becoming so outsized that it's hard to kind of contain within narratives?
I think I think it depends upon the star. If the star is also interested in acting, if the star is interested in, making films other than just catering
to the own myth.
to his own, following. The following is there. I mean, it's huge and you can't deny it. But whether that alone dictates what you do is a call that you as a filmmaker and the star as an actor have to take. If you're looking at something that acknowledges following but tries to go slightly away from it or different from it or take it another step, then it's possible to think of that.
And do you, when you're writing like these 3-4 scripts that you're sort of mulling right now, do you imagine actors already or not at all?
Some of them. Some of them you have an idea of what kind of a person that you're looking at. It starts with the age group of your character, and within that age group you have some films work best when there are new actors, when it's a fresh face. Some films work better when there is a star attached to it or a great actor attached to it, because then you need lesser screen time to establish the character. You can easily move into it. So the script decides what kind of person that you're looking at. But that will be only the main few. The rest of them, when we run out of, when we hit a roadblock, when you're writing a script, the two things that you can sit back and do is to think of a title for the film. Okay, that will take away a lot of time, make you forget the script and make you think that you're doing a lot of work. Another thing is to cast on paper. So you leave the script, which is not seen, is not working. You come and say, whom shall I cast for this? So you sit and chat with your friends and your team, and that will take care of it. So it's constantly there. Now you'll have a list, you'll have option A, B, C, and depends on who's available, whether they'll be interested. So it's a nice
diversion.
Getaway.
Speaking of titles, there's been a lot of conversation about how Thug Life is a very Gen Z title, right? There's also been a lot of conversation, I don't know if you've even had the bandwidth to pay attention to this, but about how there's so much of usage of English lyrics in Tamil songs, right? And this literally started, Anurag Kashyap brought it up and it became a conversation and then Sugar Baby dropped, right? So what is your response to that?
I think, I've had, most of my titles have been in Tamil. No, not really. But it's not a restrictive thing. I mean, you don't go with rules saying that I will do only this. I think a medium opens itself up. If it is right, then you take that step which sounds right for it. Why tie yourself up with some, false bravado? If you really like Tamil, which I do, I try to use a lot of it close to, I've taken, Rahman and me have taken a lot of poetry from Vairamuthu and made them into songs. So it kind of brings, the quality of Tamil, the quality of thought and content to a much higher level when you pick it up, if you bridge the gap between the two. So you can do that on one hand. And if sometimes you need a Sugar Baby, it feels right, then you'd go for it. There's no this way or that way. You can, as long as you care enough for both.
Yeah. But is there a sense, do you ever think that it might be like a way for people to lean into being younger, because you're using English words? Is that a fear?
Yeah, it is true. It is that. But that alone cannot sell. That alone does not make a product. Just trying to be young and cool is not enough. A film will show you who you are, when it's finished. So you cannot get away by these false things. These can only, if it will help your story, if your characters like that, and you have to bring that across, then it's fine. It's good to use them. We are like that in real life. We do all that. So you can't compartmentalize when you make into films. We will not touch anything like that. No, you use it.
Whatever sort of feels
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, the other thing that I hear a lot of artists talk about is their fear of losing relevance. That there'll be a day when people are not talking about you. And you've done this for 40 plus years. Is there a way to keep yourself kind of connected with the generations that come? Is there a way to be young? Or is it just who you are?
I don't know whether you can consciously be young. You cannot. So as long as you're aware of the, of things that are changing around you, which I think everybody who's living is aware. They ask this question, especially to filmmakers, how is it that you know? I mean, if I ask them the same question, do you know what the kids are doing? They all know. They all know what it is. That is why they're saying that this is Gen Z, because they know.
Yeah.
And the filmmaker is the same. He's aware of the society that he's living in. And if you have to write a script based on a mafia kingpin, you've never been a mafia kingpin, but you write films based on that. Similarly, if today's youngster you want to write, you learn, you see, and you write on that. So it's not very difficult. It is whether your way of thinking, your narrative, that is relevant. Whether they have the attention span for your logic, for your narrative. No, that changes drastically. There might be some kind of jokes that I would have said. That is no longer impressive these days. Then they're not going to care for it. So I think more than knowing, it is your language and your structure that makes a difference.
But do you, sir, ever think about that? Like, is this language going to be relatable for younger people? Do I need to change it because I'm not that age group?
I think I am.
Good for you.
No, the thing is, when you watch a film, you see what you relate to and things like that. There's always, I've looked at it this way, it's like a subset. It says there's a group of things which the people who are going to films like, if that is a circle, and there's a circle of what you like very much. And there is one small cross section where it can meet. You like exactly what they like in some form. So I try my best to operate within that. I might take one step this side, that side, but I try to operate within that. And there's some of the younger people like, I like too. So there is a ground that all of us will have common with everybody else. So that is all there is needed.
But do you have any fear of becoming irrelevant, or these are things you don't even think about?
No, if I'm irrelevant, I'll just drop by. And like I told you, cinema is not the end of the world. So it is something which is fascinating, which is very, it's something that you love to do, and they pay you for it. So
it's all good.
So it's all good.
One last question, sir. There's been a lot of sort of doomsday conversation around cinema, around the end of cinema, around, like you said, the attention spans. What do young people want? Are you hopeful for the movies?
Yeah.
What gives you hope?
I'm very hopeful. I think storytelling is eternal. I think the form might change, the shape might change, but this is an art form that brings so many other elements into it. It brings music into it, it brings drama into it, it brings performance into it, and it brings various emotion that comes in with it. So it is a culmination of a lot of art. The way it is consumed might be changing, but the content that is getting consumed may not change. The fact that it is something that is, consumed will remain, and maybe the method changes, maybe technology comes in, maybe AI comes in, things will change. Just like from sound, from silent sound came, and then color came, and then digital came, and analog disappeared. So it's through our lives, I've seen so much of change, in terms of film. So it will change. But I still think there will be storytellers.
And do you think we will still gather in that big dark hall to watch a big screen?
I think we'll always do, but it may not be, it'll never go away. I think like theatre has remained. I think it will remain, but we don't know how huge a volume it will be. But I think the joy of collective watching is something else. Even a good comedy is best seen with 500 people laughing with you. It just takes away the inhibition out of you. At home, I just watch it, I smile maybe, that's it. Whereas there, I really, really take it in, so the pleasure is really so much more. So hopefully.
Yes, I'm always glass half full.
Yeah.
Believe. Okay, and I know you said that the breezy romance is not true, but I'm hoping in those 4 or 5 strips there is a romance, because it would be lovely to have a Mani Ratnam love story again.
There is a romance in everything. So
You won't tell us anything about these 4, 5. Nahin, na?
Oh, how can I tell you? It's not yet there.
Okay, but is there a love story?
I'm saying there'll be love stories in everything, but no, there's not a full-fledged love story. No, I don't have anything to... See, when you make a love story, I feel you can't make a love story just like that.
Right.
You need something which resonates to the time or where it is set and what is it saying. It's not just a man and woman. It has to deal with something more. Until you find that you want to communicate about, or you want to discuss, or you want to reflect, you can't really do that.
Yeah. And any promise, this is really the last question, but the 4 or 5 that you're sort of dabbling with, any genres that you can tell us that you might be interested in?
I can't tell you.
I absolutely understand, but before any of those, cannot wait to see Thug Life. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Anupama.
Thank you.
Lovely.